episode 97 of One Man's Opinion. Today I will be discussing the national tour of Alanis Morissette's musical Jagged Little Pill, with lyrics by Morissette, music by Morissette and Glenn Ballard, and book by Diablo Cody. Currently touring Eastern North America. It is currently directed by Diane Paulus, choreographed by Sidi, Larbi, Cherkaoui, and with music arrangements and orchestrations by Kitt. Inspired by and using every song off of the 1995 hit album of the same name, as well as about a dozen other Morissette songs, Jagged Little Pill is the story of the Healy family and the life-altering events that occur over the course of a late December. The story attempts to primarily focus on Mary Jane Healy, played by Heidi Blickenstaff, and her adopted daughter Frankie Healy, played by Lauren Chanel. On the night I was in attendance, her understudy Jordan Lee McCaskill was on. I saw Jagged Little Pill when it ran on Broadway in December 2019, and after seeing the show twice now, my opinion remains pretty much identical to what it was 4 years ago. Jagged Little Pill has a lot going for it. There's an excellent, energetic cast, the music is classic with superb orchestrations and arrangements by Kitt. The musical addresses prescient topics like the Me Too movement, racial identity, and opioid addiction. The problem, though, with Jagged Little Pill is that there's too much story. We are immediately introduced to the first issue. Mary Jane and her husband Steve, played by Chris Hoke, are having severe marital difficulties as he spends 60 hours a week working in New York City and commuting back and forth from there and their Connecticut home, likely in Fairfield County somewhere. Mary Jane had a car accident earlier in the year, and since then she and Steve's love life has become non-existent, and she has an opioid addiction. Now that is enough content for a full-length musical alone right there. But we also have Frankie's story. Frankie has a girlfriend, Jo, played by Jade McLeod. The night I was in attendance, she was played by understudy Alana Pollard. Frankie meets a new student in her high school, Phoenix, played by Rishi Golani, whom she falls in love with also. Frankie is also dealing with issues of lost identity, being a black woman adopted into a white family. This also is enough for a musical of its own. But wait, there's more. We have the son of the Healy family, Nick, played by Dylan Klenna, who has just been accepted into Harvard and is dealing with expectation pressures from his parents. Things get far worse for him as he witnesses the rape of Bella, played by Allison Shepard, at a party committed by his best friend Andrew, played by Jason Goldston. Bella is then subsequently shamed on social media. Frankie and Jo work together to get Bella to report the rape and start protests advocating for rape survivors. Nick, meanwhile, struggles with why he didn't stop the rape and pressure from Mary Jane to not report what he witnessed to the police, due to it potentially affecting his chances of going to Harvard. Then on top of that, Mary Jane is dealing with her own repressed trauma being forced to the surface by Bella's rape. Again, more than enough for a show of its own. And it's all just too much. In its effort to be a musical of social advocacy, no plot gets the attention it deserves. We'll easily spend 30 minutes in a 2.5-hour musical completely separated from the relationship issues between Frankie and Jo. We'll get another 30 minutes devoid of the rape case, instead of focusing on one major plot and maybe one or two subplots that have healthy development and a journey with a fulfilling climax and resolution. Most of those plots are given cursory resolutions in the show's epilogue. Thankfully, the cast is great. Blickenstaff has the great manic energy of a person suffering from addiction and unable to control her urges. Hoke is also excellent as Steve, making the most of a character who doesn't get much to do but reacts to the craziness that is happening in his family around him. Granted, being an absentee parent is the character's problem, so reaction is what is needed here. I enjoyed Jordan Lee McCaskill as Frankie. She and Alana Pollard both had great presence in the roles they were filling in for, though Pollard had trouble singing out some of the lower end of the Morissette songs, and she also needs a refresher on some of the lyrics as she fumbled over several lines in a couple songs. Still, her performance of You Oughta Know is the show-stopping moment of the musical. It was on Broadway, and it is here. Granted, the blocking and direction of it is a little weird, particularly for Frankie, who is basically running around the stage for no purpose, kind of like she's running away. Oh, I'm going to leave. And then she's like, oh, no, I'm not. I'm stopped by the ensemble, who it's questionable whether or not they're real or not. Just stick Frankie in the corner and let Jo get her moment. Jagged Little Pill will appeal to the Alanis fans and will likely appeal to strong advocates for any of the social issues addressed in the show. I hope for you, to whom it appeals to, that it is enough, though, as a story to satisfy you. For me, it needed some serious focusing. But I am only one man's opinion, so be sure to leave yours in the comments below. If you'd like to see Jagged Little Pill, I'll leave a link in the description where you can order tickets. You can support my channel by becoming a patron on my Patreon page. A link to that will be in the description as well. You can also support my channel by liking, sharing, and subscribing, and click the notification bell to be alerted to future reviews. My next review will be Goodspeed Musical's production of Gypsy. Thank you for watching, and I will see you at the theater.